Have you ever wondered why two people with the exact same education, the exact same opportunities, and literally identical paychecks can end up with completely different financial futures a decade later? I mean, it's wild, right? Well, it's not magic. Welcome to this Xplainer. Today, we're going to visually map out the hidden mechanics that separate those who actually build true financial independence from those who, well, kind of just stay stuck on the treadmill.
So is becoming wealthy just a lucky roll of the dice? Honestly, when we see incredible financial success, it's so tempting to just chalk it up to pure luck and move on. But what if there's a specific sequence of decisions, like a hidden machinery going on behind the scenes that most people simply miss? Step by step, we're going to uncover this exact pattern, and we're doing it entirely through the evidence.
Okay, let's dive into this with Section 1, Earning versus Building Wealth.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it breaks down a grand illusion society constantly feeds us. We're told a high income guarantees wealth, right? But earning and building are two completely different financial muscles. Earning money just means trading your valuable time for a paycheck. It's literally like pushing a massive boulder up a hill. The second you stop pushing or stop working, the money stops. Building wealth, on the other hand, is about accumulating assets that generate value all on their own. It's the huge shift from working for your money to building a system where your money actually works for you.
Which brings us to Section 2, Solving Problems and Creating Value.
So if a big, flashy paycheck isn't the finish line, what is the actual engine of wealth? Well, notice what the most financially successful people don't do. They don't just clock more hours. Actually, scratch that. Working hard matters, but it's definitely not just about time. Instead, they acquire incredibly rare, valuable skills. They solve complex problems. By creating immense value for a business or for society, your financial worth totally decouples from the clock. Add in a commitment to continuous learning and, maintaining adaptability, and you basically ensure your ability to generate value never, ever becomes obsolete.
Section 3, Assets, Liabilities, and Compounding.
All right, this is where the math really kicks in. At its absolute simplest, an asset puts money into your pocket. Think of a profitable business, real estate, or solid investments. A liability takes money out of your pocket, like, say, that high-interest loan for a brand new car that literally loses a quarter of its value the absolute second you drive it off the lot. The ultimate trap here? Spending your hard-earned income on liabilities while pretending or even convincing yourself that they're assets. To truly escape that trap, you need to leverage the eighth wonder of the world, compound growth. So, the crucial point is understanding this magic process where your investment earnings start earning their own interest over time. You aren't just earning returns on your initial cash anymore. Your money is essentially cloning itself. While it's absolutely true that all investing involves calculated risk, compounding completely changes how you view every single dollar you save. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what we're talking about. At first, the growth feels agonizingly slow. I mean, in year 1, it might even feel a bit discouraging. But you just have to give it time. By year 10, the momentum is really building. And by year 20, whoa, the curve bends upward exponentially. That tiny initial seed balloons into a massive portfolio. Time is literally the secret ingredient that turns calculated risk into generational wealth.
Section 4, Habits of Long-Term Thinking.
To sustain that massive 20-year exponential growth we just looked at, you absolutely need a very specific psychological framework. Long-term thinking requires calculated risks and the brutal discipline of delayed gratification. It's about sacrificing a little bit of comfort today for a massive reward tomorrow. Contrast that with short-term decisions, jumping into reckless get-rich-quick schemes or chasing instant gratification. Most people stay trapped not because of low earnings, but honestly because impulsive, short-term choices continuously sabotage their future.
So how exactly do we rewire our brains for this? Well, it comes down to 4 pretty unglamorous habits. First, budgeting, so you actually know where your resources are going. Second, practicing patience, giving your investments the runway they need. Third, maintaining discipline to stick to the plan. And fourth, delaying that urge to spend right now. Let's be real, these habits are definitely not going to go viral on social media, but these are the quiet, everyday disciplines that literally build empires over decades.
Let's move to Section 5, the reality of circumstance, and see how this builds in the real world.
Up to now, we've focused heavily on personal choices, but we really need to ground this in reality because wealth is absolutely not determined solely by a relentless hustle mindset. We have to look at things like family background, access to education, personal health, and broader economic conditions. Impartially speaking, we must acknowledge that external variables, and honestly pure luck, play a massive role. Everyone's starting line is completely different, which is exactly why there's no foolproof one-size-fits-all formula for this.
Yet, despite the vast inequality in where we all start, the core takeaway remains incredibly empowering. True wealth is built through consistent decisions over many years, not a single lucky moment. Look, we can't control the broader economy, and we certainly can't control our upbringing. But what we can control is how we deploy our time today, how we sharpen our skills, and whether we choose to accumulate actual assets instead of shiny liabilities.
I want to leave you with this final thought. The biggest difference between those who build wealth and those who struggle isn't always how much they earn. It's what they do with what they earn. As you step away from this explainer today, I highly encourage you to take a hard look at your own financial blueprint. Ask yourself, are the choices you made this week building a long-term asset, or are they just feeding a liability? If you stopped working tomorrow, how long would your system sustain you? Keep learning, stay focused, and I'll see you in our next explainer.